All right. Hello, everybody. We are going to be talking about finding the surface area of different shapes and also volume. I pull up this sheet right here because we're going to be using it to look at our formulas. And you're going to realize how easy this is because once you know the size of a shape, all you do is you take the numbers and you plug it in. Okay. So we're basically looking at triangles, squares, rectangles, prisms, and cylinders. Okay, I'm going to start out with a square or rectangle. Let's go there. All right, so when we're finding the area of a rectangle, we know there's the length and the width. So the area of a rectangle, the formula is length times width. And if you look back on the sheet that we were looking at just now, it says that the area is length times width. Length times width. So if we have an example and we say there's a rectangle or the table that we're all sitting at, and one side is 8 and the other side is 2. Let's put centimeters, centimeters. All right, so in order to find the area, I'm going to do length times width, which is going to be 8 centimeters times 2 centimeters. So then the area for this rectangle is 16 centimeters squared. We have to put the squared because that's the unit for whenever we're finding the area of a any shape or whatever that is. So the unit squared is what we use to represent area. All right, now let's look at the volume for a cube or rectangular prism. Okay, that is something that looks like this. This is like a whole box. Whereas with the area was only talking about the front part of the box, with the volume, it's talking about the whole box. So if I give you a question, I say, how much sand do you think can fit into this box? We're talking about the volume because we're talking about the whole space, which that formula is length times width times height. We got the length. Use different colors for this. Length, the width, and the height. So if we have a question over here, go ahead and identify these as either cubes or rectangular prisms. Right? This is 6, this is 2, this is, or say this right here is 8. And say all these are meters. Some big boxes. So the volume, which is equal to length times width times height, right? All we do is we multiply the numbers. 6 meters times 2 meters times 8 meters. If you have a calculator, you could go ahead and use that calculator. So you do 8 times 6 times 2, which gives you 96 meters cubed. The unit cubed is what we use to measure volume. Whereas with the area or surface area, we use the unit squared. So just to recap, whenever we're talking about area or surface area, we're talking about the area in which it takes up, the surface of it. So if I have this box right here, and I ask for the area of this rectangle, then you'll do length times width. But if I talk about the volume, I'm talking about everything that's inside. So I do length times width times the height, okay? So whenever we're talking about surface area, if we have a circle, remember half of that, like this point right there, that's 3. That is considered to be the radius. And the area of this circle is equal to pi r squared, with r being the radius. So then our answer for this, so let's say this is meters. Our answer for this, which is the area, is equal to 9. Actually, let's rewrite this. Be pi, and then we do 3 squared. So your answer would be 9 pi m squared. Now with that, we could form a cylinder. And we're trying to figure out what the volume is of this cylinder. The volume formula is pi r squared h. All right, so let's identify the parts. That's h. And we know that that's the radius. So if we had an example that says r is 2 and the height is 4, I just come into my formula and I put in my different numbers. So I have 16 pi, and say that my unit was meters. So I do meters cubed, because with volume it's cubed. This is just a brief introduction to what this stuff is. We will get into it a little bit more as we go forward. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.